How's it, guys? Welcome back to another video today. I hope everyone's having a good day. I want to do another quick update video on what I'm looking at for the day. Basically, what trades I'm looking at and what is the current sentiment of the market right now. Obviously, we know yesterday we had a bit of a sell-off, which is why I was a bit skeptical jumping into longs, which I told you guys yesterday. Total 3 wasn't breaking out. It didn't close above that key level that we spoke about in yesterday's Telegram discussions, right? And I was saying that if we get a daily close above this level, we could see long continuation. So we're going to speak about that. Where about are we in terms of this potential altcoin run, or are we going to just continue coming lower, right? So let's get straight into it. And yeah, basically, guys, for today, you can see we are down a little bit on the red, but I do think that we have potential to continue going higher, right? There's a lot of factors that are telling me that potentially some tokens looking decent today, right? Which is why I did enter a long on a token, and I'm waiting for another long on 2 more tokens today, right? So I want to speak about what I'm long on and then what I'm waiting for and what total 3 can potentially do. We can speak about Bitcoin, but I want to focus more on the alts today because I do think there's a potential for a move that's going to happen very, very soon, and I think a lot of people are sleeping right now. So basically, let's have a look at Atom. I just entered this trade, and I did tell you guys in the group that we enter the setup. Basically, it is just pretty much a breakout trade for Atom. And if we look at the 4-hour time frame quickly, as you can see, if it can load, yeah. But yeah, on the 4-hour time frame, basically we got that breakout over here, and structure. We did break these highs. We broke this high over here, but we still respected that level. But as you can see, we're still holding this 4-hour slash. This is a daily support as well, right? So this is a daily support. Yesterday's candle actually closed bearish, but closed respecting the daily support, right? So even though this candle closed really, really strong bearish, we still hold support, right? So that is still fine. If we close below support, then I'll be like, okay, we need to be careful this, because then this could just be a top wick, and then it flips bearish and we continue going lower. But because we did hold daily support, I do think that continuation here for Atom is likely, right? So on the 1-hour time frame, we go down to 1 hour. You can see that Atom was forming this kind of bull flag breakout scenario where we had price holding this level, and then on the 15-minute time frame we got that breakout, and we are holding above this 1 hour fair value gap, right? Sorry, is it I think it's a 4-hour. What is this level? This level is, oh yeah, it's this bullish fair value gap sitting over here, right? So basically we got a breakout, and then now we are respecting this bullish fair value gap, which is where I entered off that level. It's entry is 305. Looking for continuation here to 3.272, right, for Atom. So Atom definitely on my radar. I am currently long on this token. Stop loss below the lows. Very, very nice. Looking for continuation to the upside. So that's the one token that I'm currently in. Another setup that I'm looking at is ICP. So we all know that ICP absolutely rips it. The other day, after getting absolutely smacked on October 10th, we broke out of this level, had a retest of the zone, and had a push higher. Now what I'm currently waiting for is just waiting for a breakout of this new structure that we've currently formed, right? Very, very simple setup. And now it's 42% moves to the upside if it does play out, right? Patience though, because although we did break trend right now, the possibility of us, still getting rejected from the zone over here is quite likely. So for me, you guys know me by now, but basically I'm a confirmation trader in terms of I need price to close above key levels in order for continuation of the trend or continuation of the retracement or whatever the scenario is on the token, right? So with that said, price currently is still holding this level, this resistance at 6.56. So I want to see price get above here, and then we look for the continuation longs. Bang. Okay, very, very simple. So that's that. Then another setup I'm looking at is Aster, right? So Aster right now also basically, it's a little bit chopped here. Let me just remove all of this. Okay. So basically with Aster, I mean, we spoke about it in the video. I mean, in the Telegram group. But right now we are at the value area high. We're at a key level here at resistance. Essentially, I just want price to break out here, right? And then we have these key levels to the left hand side here, to look for some potential TPs. Okay. So essentially, with Asta, all I want to see is price get above this level here, and then we look for continuation longs, right? Because the thing is, when price is accumulating like this, and we've retested this multiple times, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times already. So the more we tap into these zones, the more probability of us actually is of taking it out and actually, getting the push that is actually needed. Because right now, this is just like fake move after fake move, tapping resistance after tapping resistance, right? So to get this long, we just have to be patient. So we've got an alert set, and I'll let you guys know in the group. And you can see that Atom is looking quite nice now. Holding this level. Once we hit CP1, you can just move your stop loss to just below this fair value gap over here, and just to reduce risk over here. But looking really, really nice for this push to the upside. Then another setup I'm looking at is, so we've got the ICP, the Asta one, and then there is Solana as well. But the thing is with the Solana one, I think it's already cooked, because of the fact that we've already holding this daily. So we've been speaking about the support, right? I mean, this 154 zone is your bullish fair value gap from literally July 2025, right? So holding this level is crucial for Sol, which is why I kind of want to play the continuation longs if we get to the zone, right? Because we did break character over here on the 50-minute time frame, right? So we broke that level here. There is potential for us to retrace into either this fair value gap over here or into this one over here, and then we look for continuation longs to the upside. Okay, so although these candles on the daily time frame are bearish, I still think that the probability of us going up today, it's not on every token, but like Atom is very likely. Solana, holding support, looking for continuation longs is going to be the play today, right? So that's what I'm focusing on for that. And then I want to speak about Ethereum as well, and then I'll go over Bitcoin, and then I'll go over the total 3 market cap. But let's have a look at ETH. So, I mean, if we look at ETH, we pretty much called the bottom of this for ETH last week, right? We literally said we have 2 zones. We have this reaction zone, bang, and you could have played the long there, or we have this reaction zone over here, and you could have played the long there. And right now, we have this zone over here, which is very, very critical. We obviously know that this is super, super strong support. We try to come down, tap into that zone, but there's also this bullish fair value gap sitting at 3414. So as long as we hold above there, we find in terms of longs. And then on the 15/1 hour time frame, we are obviously holding holding this level, and we obviously just broke out of this level over here with this bullish gap getting respected for potential continuation longs. So right now we have this level here, right? If you look at this small little reaction box, this is what's going to potentially push Ethereum higher, right, off the zone. You could even potentially look at a long off this level here for ETH. I'm not going to do that because we still have resistance to the left hand side over here, but essentially off this breakout here and holding this bullish fair value gap, people, some traders would actually target like this level here for continuation stop loss, like just below this low over here, a really, really strong RR on the setup. But the problem with the setup is that it is too chopped to the left hand side over here, whereas Atom, we had a clear breakout with not much resistance to the left hand side off this level, right? Whereas Ethereum, we have this whole zone over here which we have not cleared, right? If the ideal scenario with these breakout trades is you want to see price like take out these highs like to the left hand side, take it out, bang, and then you want to see price off that close, you want to see price come back into this level, and then you take the long off this level, right? Because the thing is, like right now, taking the long off this zone, it looks clean, but the problem is it's holding this resistance, right? So you can't really take it. So for me, what I want to see is at least take out this high first. Whereas Atom did do that. We took out this high over here, we took out this high, and we took out this high over here. So Ethereum has not yet done that. It has taken this high, but we haven't taken out this left hand high, which is what I want to see. I do think that we can bounce from this zone. I'm not saying that we can't, but I do want to see price take out, this high first before I actually jump in to this trade. Okay, so that's the other setup that I'm actually looking at for today. So it's Ethereum, Aster, and ICP so long, but Litecoin as well, guys. We spoke about Litecoin. I honestly just think this is a good, like a spot buy. We didn't tap into the buy zone, missed it by literally like 0.3 or something. But honestly, like, even if you had to buy now, spot trading, I'm speaking to like the spot traders out there, but buying at these levels, anticipating the breakout, could be kind of huge. You're looking at a 300% move to the upside off even just this level, right? So definitely something to keep your eyes on for the next couple of days. But honestly, just keep your eyes on for this token here, ICP. Remember, guys, when some of these tokens move, they just absolutely rip it, right? So you want to be involved, yeah. So this is a 40% move to the upside for ICP, right? Can it happen? Of course it can. Can we take the trade now? Personally, I can't. Maybe someone else can, in terms of like if their strategy is but like looking at this trade right now, why would you take this if we're below resistance? For me, I need to see price take out this level. We have this gap over here. I want to see price get above here, and then we look for the continuation longs. But definitely not going to miss this trade, and I will post this setup for you guys, because ICP could absolutely rip it today. And then we're going to go over total 3 in just a sec, but let's have a look at Bitcoin. What is happening with Bitcoin today? So yesterday was kind of chopped as well, not really anything happening. We did get a breakout, and we did close above this fair value gap, but you see how like not breaking highs is so critical, yeah. Like even for Bitcoin, we didn't break this high and we're still coming down. Although we are in this, maybe I should just get a new fresh chart here, but let me just take this away. So now like this bearish fair value gap is getting respected as resistance, where this bullish fair value gap sitting over here is getting respected as support. Okay, so right now we're currently just stuck in between like two ranges on like the 4-hour time frame. So for longs for Bitcoin or shorts for Bitcoin today, I can't really see much. We are in this 1 hour gap over here, but right now we did actually break structure on the 15 though. This is kind of looking decent. We broke structure on the 15. We broke out of the smaller range over here, which was holding. Bitcoin kind of looking juicy off this level here. Holding above here is fine. Yeah, I just don't really see much happening for Bitcoin unless we like start closing back above this level or like closing back below this level here. So for me, like analyzing Bitcoin, I prefer doing altcoins because there's just so many more of them, and you have like more opportunity to get involved, right? So RCP is crossing already. That's crazy. Okay. So you can see putting these alerts on here gives us the opportunity to, look at other tokens and potentially. I mean, if we can close above here, this would be crazy. So we have 4 minutes here, closing above here. I'm going to put an alert, one more alert just on the close here, so we can look at some other setups. But ICP, guys, on the radar today, potential longs, 100%, okay? Atom, I'm already in this Atom long. We spoke about it in the Telegram group anyway. So I think most of you guys are in this trade. I'm quite confident with the setup. Obviously, not every trade's a guarantee, but I do think that it could potentially play out. And yeah, that's pretty much what I'm looking at for the day. I have gone over most of these tokens, and most of them was not really jumping out to me like how Atom was and like ICP and Aster. But I will be scanning the markets the whole day today to see if we can potentially get some setups. But we'll see. Sweet as well. Nothing happening. Popcat kind of ripped it as well. But yeah, not much else here, guys. So let's have a look at total 3. Alright, so do you guys remember from yesterday what I was speaking about total 3? And I mean ICP, we need to watch out for ICP today, guys. You know, obviously this could be a fake out, but if this thing rips it, it will pump super hard. So basically yesterday, you know, this whole push yesterday was like, oh my god, you know, altcoins are finally breaking out of this trend line, right? But then I told you guys, you know, looking for longs yesterday was just like, it was a wrong move, because we couldn't close above this 986 level, and I've been saying this level multiple times, and the problem with this level is that there's so much selling pressure within the zone, so I need price to clear this level. Obviously looking for longs now on tokens when we are at like support is way better than actually looking for the breakout longs, but confirmation would be better in terms of waiting for the breakout longs, if you know what I mean. So I mean, some tokens looked like super juicy, so you know, you can trade the tokens that look super nice, but in terms of like whole market share and you know, the whole total 3, you know, for that breakout, we need to see price get above 286, right? Holding above this level here as well is super crucial, which is what we've been speaking about as well, this like 900 zone, and you know, it's still holding that level. So you know, looking for longs on some tokens is fine, right? You know, we all know that everything does not move in at the same pace, and you can also see on the lower time frames here that you know, we do have some type of trend holding there, which is not really valid right now. But yeah, the problem is total 3 is hard right now with this current price action, but just focus on the tokens that potentially can move today, right? I'm not saying that I'm super bullish right now because of the fact that, you know, we're still getting rejected from this level. Once we close above this level, I'm gonna turn like a super bull, and then, you know, I think we just place longs on most tokens, because that is the confirmation that I need personally for me to jump into multiple longs. Okay, but until then, it's just gonna be chopped, and then we just have to play certain tokens for breakouts and whatnot, right? So we shall see what's gonna happen today, but just be careful of this, guys. You know, I do warn you guys that potentially this breakout over here was quite a big fake out, but I do think that it's also going to trap people, right? So personally, I think that we're going to go higher today on most tokens, but I'm not saying it's guaranteed. I just think that this move yesterday was like a fake move to the downside, and we actually going to push higher today. I just feel like most chart structure is actually just looking super nice. So I'm just going to focus on the charts that are looking nice, like ICP, Aster, and Atom. You know, even though Atom's holding this daily support over here, I mean, how that candle closed bearish there, I just think that, you know, taking this breakout trade, holding this level over here is super clean, and, you know, trading a chart, how the chart looks individually, is probably the best bet. So you don't want to combine too many factors. Where I mean, honestly, I used to trade with USDT dominance a lot. You know, I used to trade anything, like pretty much all my cryptos. I would have USDT dominance, like I would have USDT dominance on the right hand side here. So basically, let's chuck it in, and I'll just show you like the correlation in terms of how we're gonna like correlate this to one another in terms of this Atom trade. And I do actually want to speak about USDT dominance, because I do think that USDT dominance is kind of chopped and it's kind of topped out. But essentially, you know, on the daily time frame, currently, we want to go to the same time frames here. So we are on the 15 minutes here for Atom. So let's have a look. So if you look at the 15 minutes here for USDT dominance, so first of all, I mean, we did break structure, yeah. So, you know, we did have, you know, this whole move over here. One sec. Let's have a look here. So basically we have this low over here, and then we had this low over here, okay? And then what actually happened is price was starting to form these lower highs, okay? This was your first indication that, okay, you know, potentially we either going to get a breakout here, or this is going to be a massive fake out, okay? And now that we're trading below this level, this 50 EMA, I mean, I don't really trade EMAs, but essentially, as you can see, if price is holding above this level here, we are on a bit of a bull move here. So, but without even looking at the EMAs, you know, this is just looking super weak for USDT dominance, because we did break structure over here, and there is a potential for us to roll over all the way back down over here. So personally, you know, bulls are in favor right now, and I'm not really going to look for shorts until like USDT dominance, you know, starts breaking these highs to the upside, okay? So USDT dominance is quite nice to use, but the problem with using it is it's like sometimes with USDT dominance, because it's like the whole market in terms of the dominance of like the whole market. Using it to trade with one token can get a bit overwhelming, and especially when the token isn't moving as much as the other tokens. So it's just nice to see like the direction of potentially where we can go, say, on USDT dominance. So like if you're not going to just put it side to side and trade it, just look at it as an individual asset as well, in terms of where it potentially can go, and then you can kind of form an idea around it for trading it. Okay, but essentially you can see like atom longs are valid, and until USDT dominance either like comes back and breaks above support over here, or potentially we get back above to these highs, and that's potentially when you like potentially can close this trade on the left hand side of here. So I'm gonna stay in this trade for atom until like USDT dominance looks better, right? Because if USDT dominance goes up, most cryptos come down, but atom just looks super juiced there, which is why I took the long. So we'll see what happens, but can we talk about USDT dominance quickly one more time, guys, on the weekly time frame? Because basically USDT dominance on the weekly time frame is absolutely beautiful, in terms of for the bulls. I'll be honest with you. Like, look at this chart. Basically, I know a lot of people are like so bearish right now, and everyone's expecting this massive dump. People are calling for like 80,000, 70,000 Bitcoin. Like, if I go into Twitter, it's crazy. Like, people are literally drawing. Let me actually go to Bitcoin. I'm not saying that it can't happen, but I think just people are cooked. So basically, I mean, let's just remove everything. So people are drawing this level over here, right? People are drawing this trend line right over here, and they're saying like, oh, okay, I mean, of course, right? The thing is, a lot of people talk about these levels as if they've already broken. You know what I mean? Like, the problem is this level has not broken, so it is not bearish just yet, right? Once we if the weekly candle closes below 100,800, okay, fine. Like, I mean, obviously we're gonna see lower targets, but holding these levels is, it's super okay, right? You know what I mean? Holding above this zone over here, 100,800, is showing me that, okay, bulls are still in control. There is upside potential. Okay, people are calling for like this fair value gap to be filled at 88. There are people calling about this level to be 77 potentially, right? But we still holding uptrend on the weekly time frame. So just trade what you see. More. That's what I told people. Just trade exactly what the chart is telling you. I don't really listen to anyone on Twitter unless like it actually broke trend, and I'll be like, okay, yeah, like this is Bitcoin's cooked kind of thing. But Bitcoin right now is still holding above trend, like daily time frame still holding, right? And also if you look at this, we have a potential breakout happening over here as well, if we were to break out. So rather just wait for like these confirmations before you actually say like, oh, Bitcoin's going down to like 80k, because Bitcoin potentially can go to 80k if we break support and we break this trend line, right? So, but until then, I'm not calling for any of those numbers, right? Because it's just not valid. Structurally right now, Bitcoin is still holding above 100,800, right? Obviously on the daily time frame we're on this bearish structure, but we're still holding support. You know what I mean? So I just don't like it when people call for all of these things, and then it actually, like, especially for like non-crypto users, it makes people sell, right? A lot of people are selling at a huge loss because all these people are saying like, oh, Bitcoin's going to 70k, or all of this stuff. Potentially it can. I'm not saying that it can't, but I'm saying rather just say it when we actually break structure and we actually break key levels, because you're actually you're making people sell at a huge loss, which is not okay. But is what it is. People do them. I'm you guys know me by now, but like I'm very like neutral when it comes to trading. Like I can look for longs, I can look for shorts within a day. Like yesterday we took that that WF short because the market was looking bearish, right? So like I took this trade for WF off this break of trend, right? We waited for break of trend, and then I looked for the sell, and then one TP was hit, and then potentially we come down low. But the thing is, that's because we broke trend, and I was calling for lower prices. But Bitcoin hasn't broken anything like to the downside just yet. So I don't know. I'm still quite bullish in terms of today. I might be wrong, but structurally right now, I just don't really see the bearishness of anything actually. As long as Bitcoin holds, I'm talking about higher time frames, yeah, like weekly and daily. Okay, so as long as Bitcoin holds this trend line over here, and this 100,800 level, very, very critical for Bitcoin. Okay, so that's pretty much what I'm looking at for the day. It actually is quite a long video, guys, so I do appreciate if you guys could like and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, I'm gonna start going live again as well. I apologize for that, but tomorrow we're gonna jump in. We're gonna go live again, and I'll see you guys for a live stream tomorrow. I just wanted to do a quick update on the current market to show you guys what I'm looking at for today and why I'm thinking of the things that I'm thinking. Okay, so just keep an eye out for these tokens. Like I said, just wait for confirmations. I'm bullish to an extent on certain tokens, right? Which is what I've been speaking about, like the Atom trade, right? I'm bullish on Atom because of the things that I've mentioned, right? We broke above key levels. The 1 hour just closed above this gap over here. So Atom looking decent. Then ICP, only going to take this trade if we actually close above this level. So same thing with Asta, right? Asta setup. I'm only going to take this. Asta could be a nice setup today, but patience on these setups, because especially for Asta, jumping into a long off this level here is very, very risky. Okay, because we have multiple. This is a huge strong zone, right? So wait for confirmation, bang, we close above, and then we go for long. That's kind of what I'm gonna wait for, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 retests of this exact same level when we even flipped it from support to resistance, right? So closing above here is super critical, like personally for me to take this long. So I need to wait for that, of course. Okay. So we'll see what happens today for Asta, but for me, guys, just trade what the charts are looking like. Even AVAX. What is this? Avalanche, right? So this is not Avalanche. Sorry, Aave. So what I'm waiting for here is basically, we did actually just close above this level here. We hold trend. Yeah, this should continue. Yeah, it's hard to take because there's no stops. Like your stops have to be below here. You know what I mean? So it's super wide stops for a TP of nothing too crazy, right? Essentially, your stop loss is going to be crazy. Almost 4% TP. Yeah, it's negative. Not really worth it, but I do think that Aave could bounce from the zone. And yeah, that's pretty much what I've got for you guys today. Just be careful. Trade each chart individually. That's what I'll tell you guys. That is like my main message for the day, because it can be a little bit confusing. But like even XRP, like the thing is with XRP, it doesn't look that great. You know what I mean? So the problem is, like, why would I want to trade XRP today when Atom is potentially breaking out? A lot of people will be like, oh, he's longing Atom, so I can long pretty much anything. It doesn't work like that, right? XRP structurally right now is just bearish, right? We've broken lows. We broke this level here. Structurally, it's still below this level as well. So, yeah, it's not okay to do that. Rather just look for setups, because the thing is, like, this Atom trade as well, the thing is with trend lines and like breakouts and all of that, the volume is generally higher, right? So the move will be quicker and the TPs will be hit like a lot faster. Basically the same thing what I said, but the volume is more, right? Whereas like if you just be like, oh, I'm longing XR, if I'm longing Atom, I'm a long XRP, you long XRP, you're probably going to be in drawdown for the whole day, right? Because XRP can, potentially, like, let's just say it does go up today, it can potentially come back down, retest this level, and then you have stops below here, and then you start stressing, and then it only moves higher, right? So you rather wait for like structure to change before you jump into these setups, and then just look for like coins that are actually potentially going to break out rather than, just jumping into a whole bunch of longs because of like one token idea, right? So that's something that I do think that a lot of people miss. And is this gonna break out, bro? I do want to see Solana get back into the zone here. We broke structure. Like, this is so clean on the 15. If we can somehow jump into this level here, 156, because I can't enter off the zone over here because we haven't retraced into the zone. But yeah, we're just gonna wait for it. I mean, it's nothing crazy. But if we can somehow get it over here, find support, and we just rip it, that would be clean. But yeah, I appreciate everyone for watching. I will be sharing a lot of updates in the Telegram group and also some trade updates and potential setups for the day. Currently just in Atom. I do think that potentially, this is going to play out. Obviously, nothing's guaranteed with any of my trades, but it's just something that I'm doing. And, I do try to find setups that potentially can play out within the day as well. So more of a scope setup basis. Obviously, sometimes they can turn into swings like that. WF trade yesterday literally took the whole day, and it did play out, but it took the whole day. But right now for Atom, still fine. Yeah. So stops are going to be below here. I'm only going to move stops below the fair value gap a little bit later, once, like, if it hits TP. So yeah, I do appreciate you guys for watching. Like I said, let's see what happens today. Obviously, bullish to an extent, but very cautious. Wait for confirmation, right? It's always best to wait for confirmation and just trade individually. So I appreciate all of you guys, and I'll see you guys in the live stream tomorrow.